The galaxy was vast, boundless, and filled with races older than the birth of stars. They had seen empires rise and fade into ash. They had witnessed 1,000 wars, 1,000 alliances, and 1,000 betrayals. Yet nothing had ever truly frightened them, until humanity remembered a debt. For centuries, humanity had been quiet. After the Terran expansion wars, they withdrew to the Sol Protectorate, sealing their borders behind shimmering defense grids. No fleets crossed their borders, no envoys spoke their language. The galaxy whispered legends about them. Some said they had gone extinct, others that they were waiting. In the Hall of Concord, the Galactic Council debated endlessly about Earth. The Council was a magnificent chamber carved within a hollowed asteroid orbiting a white dwarf star. Its ceiling glowed like liquid crystal, and 1,000 species watched from terraces that spiraled up into the heights. Grand Chancellor Relvac, a towering insectoid with translucent plates, struck the ground with his staff. The matter of human reemergence must be settled. Their silence has lasted 400 cycles. We cannot let an unpredictable race remain armed and unaccounted for. Murmurs rippled across the chamber. The Tarth emissary, a creature of shimmering liquid, spoke in a slow, undulating voice. The humans honor debts, Chancellor. They withdrew after the Concord saved them from the harvesters. They made a vow to repay that debt one day. The chamber trembled with low laughter. Repay? Hissed the Varn delegate, its eyes like molten copper. They repaid with silence. Their gratitude is isolation. They are primitive, emotional creatures who worship memory. No one fears them anymore. But in the corner of the chamber, the eldest being present, Archivist Telnar of the Keepers, slowly rose. Its form flickered between flesh and light, ancient beyond calculation. You forget, it said quietly, that humanity does not forget. They record every loss, every kindness, every promise, and when the time comes, they repay with interest. The laughter died. 3 days later, the universe changed. Across the rimward sectors, entire star clusters went silent. The communications relays of the Rith Dominion, the most powerful military alliance outside the Council, went dark. Their patrol fleets vanished without distress calls. When the Council's observers finally reached the edges of the Dominion, they found nothing but burned worlds, clean, surgical devastation. The survivors spoke of a single symbol burned into the ruins, an ancient Terran mark, a stylized sigil of 2 linked hands, humanity's mark. The Council demanded answers. None came until a transmission arrived. It was not directed to the Council. It was sent to every known civilization simultaneously. A single human stood in front of a black backdrop wearing a plain uniform. His expression was calm, his voice measured. This is Admiral John Hale of the Terran Accord. 400 years ago, the Concord saved our people from extinction. We made a vow to repay the debt when it was asked. It has been asked. No one knew what he meant. Then the image changed. Behind him appeared an alien race unfamiliar to most. Thin, translucent beings with large black eyes and elegant fins along their heads. The Areli. The Admiral continued. The Areli once shielded the last Terran evacuation fleet when the harvesters pursued us. They lost half their kind. For centuries we searched for them, and now we have found them again. Enslaved by the Rith Dominion, the Rith made them mine neutronite, stripped their world, and burned their oceans. The Areli called for help. We answered. The feed cut to a silent view of space, a Rith battle moon surrounded by Terran ships. The ships were nothing like the designs in galactic archives. They were vast, silent shapes of black alloy, no heat signatures, no energy flares. Then, without visible weapons, the moon simply ceased to exist. The stars behind it rippled for a moment as if reality itself folded inward. The feed ended with 5 words. Debt repaid. Balance restored. Earth remembers. The galaxy trembled. In the following weeks, Council fleets tracked Terran movements. Every Terran ship carried names written in old Earth tongues. Conquered, Remembrance, Odyssey, Promise. They did not conquer. They did not occupy. They arrived, freed enslaved worlds, rebuilt devastated planets, and then vanished without trade or tribute. They left behind food, medicine, technology, centuries beyond comprehension. And on every world they touched, they carved the same words into stone. In gratitude, not dominance, but the Rith Dominion would not surrender. They launched a counterattack, deploying fleets that blotted out stars. Millions of ships crewed by mercenaries and automatons surged into the Orion Reach. They swore to wipe out every Terran presence. The first clash happened near a dying star known as Vesta 9. The Rith fleets deployed in full formation, surrounding a single Terran vessel, the TS Resolute. The Rith commander transmitted across open frequencies. Terran ships surrender. You are outnumbered. The Rith Dominion will not bow to extinct legends. The reply came from the Terran captain, his voice calm and cold. We are not legends. We are the memory of promises kept. Then the Resolute fired. No one understood what weapon it used. Sensors showed no particle emissions, no plasma trails, no energy surge. The Rith ships simply vanished, replaced by clouds of glowing dust. The blast radius spanned an astronomical unit. The Dominion's high command watched in silence. The next day, their own capital world was surrounded, not by a fleet, by a single Terran ship, colossal, dark and silent, shaped like a crescent moon. It orbited once, released a pulse of light, and then departed. Every weapon on the planet melted into slag. Every computer failed. Every chain broke. The enslaved Ireli rose in rebellion, guided by Terran drones. Within hours, the Dominion collapsed. The Council met again in fear and awe. Chancellor Relvac demanded explanations. Are they a threat to us now? If they can unmake a Starfleet, what stops them from unmaking us? Archivist Telnar whispered. Their own morality. Humanity does not destroy without cause. They avenge, they restore, they repay. They act only when debt calls them. But what happens, another delegate murmured, when they decide the galaxy owes them? That question hung in silence. Months passed. The Terran Accord did not expand. They sent envoys, human in form but different. Their eyes glowed faintly with light. Their voices carried strange harmonics. Rumors spread that they had merged with their machines, achieving a unity of mind and spirit unknown elsewhere. The envoy to the Council introduced himself as Representative Markan. He was calm, polite, and precise. The Accord seeks no conquest, he said. We came to settle an obligation. The Rith violated the ancient law of protection, enslaving those who once protected us. That debt is closed. Humanity returns to silence, Chancellor Relvac pressed. And if another species harms one protected by you, Markan's expression did not change. Then we will remember again. The council chamber fell still. The representative bowed and the transmission ended. But fear lingered. Centuries of galactic order had been built upon predictable power. Wars had been calculated games of resources, fleets, and treaties. Now a single unpredictable force existed, one driven not by conquest, but by emotion, by something alien to most species. Gratitude. That made them dangerous beyond measure. In the years that followed, the phrase Earth remembers became a warning across the stars. Smugglers used it to threaten pirates. Governments whispered it when they discussed forbidden acts. Even the most powerful warlords avoided harming refugees from Terran-protected systems. But among the ordinary people of the galaxy, humanity became something else. A legend of hope. When famine struck, sometimes a Terran drone would appear, leaving supplies. When disease spread, medships cloaked in starlight would pass through orbit and depart without word. No demands, no flags, only silent aid, and always the same words etched in metal left behind. Debt paid forward. Still, there were those who did not believe. The Drax Imperium, proud and unyielding, tested them. They conquered a Terran-aligned colony at the edge of Orion's arm, enslaving its inhabitants. They declared humans cowards hiding behind myths. Their victory lasted 2 days. The third day, their fleet monitors went dark. On the fourth, their moons shifted orbits. On the fifth, their emperor received a message. No voice, no threat, only an image of a single coin engraved with 2 words, remember kindness. Then every ship in their armada powered down, permanently. Not destroyed, simply lifeless. The Drax surrendered without battle. The galaxy understood. Humanity had no empire, no territory to defend. They ruled nothing, yet their reach extended everywhere. They did not govern by decree, they governed by memory. They remembered every act of mercy ever shown to them, and they repaid each one with terrifying precision. One council historian later wrote, "To understand humanity is to understand consequence. They do not act from greed or fear. They act because they must balance the scales. When you save them, they save you. When you harm what they cherish, you will learn why galaxies whisper their name." 1,000 years later, The Terran Accord remained silent once more. Their worlds glowed faintly in the black, their gates sealed. Travelers spoke of hearing faint music in deep space, echoes of old Earth songs drifting between stars. Some said it was a warning. Others said it was a promise. And when a young scholar asked the aged archivist Telnar what it meant, the ancient being smiled faintly. It means they still remember. And that, he said, is why the galaxy trembles.